Let's go into our missing ring spotlight. And from one of my all-time favorites to the other, today we're going to spotlight Randall Cunningham. Randall was with the Eagles from 85 to 95. He finished his career top 3 in yards, touchdowns, attempts, and completions in Eagles history. He's number 6 in the rushing yards as well as rushing touchdowns. Completely revolutionized the game. And you think about Randall Cunningham's game, and we used to always complain just about how he's not the prototypical quarterback, and there's a lot of other racial connotations. When I was growing up as a kid, you heard it all the time about him being a black quarterback, but he was ahead of his time. Didn't really receive much coaching. Buddy Ryan couldn't give two shits about the offense. He would tell Randall, go out there and make 5 plays. The defense will win the game. And for the most part, defense went out there and Randall made the plays. Defense won the game. But Randall, unfortunately, did come up small. And I think a lot of this goes back to the coaching that he never received. He came up small in some playoff games early in his career. With the Eagles, the only playoff game he won was that 92 wild card game down in New Orleans, where it was sort of like street ball. They got down early, and he just was going out there making plays, and that's when Randall was absolutely at his best. Now, we talked about the best chances for Randall, and for him, probably his best chance was 1988 because he was playing in the playoff game, threw for 400 yards in the fog in Chicago, but nobody did anything once the fog rolled in. And I still, to this day, like I mentioned earlier in the week, they would have gone out to San Francisco, won the game, and then beat Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. But that 91 team, and we talked about it with the defense the other day, if he didn't get hurt, man, that defense was to me, the greatest defense that ever played in the NFL. And imagine if they had a competent quarterback, let alone a Randall Cunningham at quarterback. And after that knee injury, he never really recovered in Philly because one of the coaching, the kind of the direction of the team, Jeffrey Lurie had taken over, and it was sort of like a feeling out process and everything. Once he got to Minnesota, had some coaching, you saw what he did with Chris Carter and Randy Moss, and that 1998 season was very, very special for Randall Cunningham. But in Philly, my all-time favorite, he was maybe a little immature, and again, part of that probably stemmed from not really having much of a coaching sort of background. You had a defensive guy who couldn't care less about the offense, just don't screw it up for the defense. And I think that's what held Randall back. But Randall Cunningham is today's missing rings spotlight.